Oh. You're recording it?
Yeah, I just like put it automatically recording. And we can just cut what we don't need out. So.
I look like you're a mini-me.
That's funny.
So do you I guess it'll just flow naturally. He'll just say something like, "What do you mean by that?" Or
yeah.
Can you expand more? Well, how'd that work for you?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Why did it not work so well?
Yeah, I mean, I figured this was like the natural progression of.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
How's old Dan Rice?
Dude.
Am I just supposed to introduce myself, or are you going to ask me to introduce myself?
Yeah, you can go right ahead. Introduce yourself.
Okay. Hey, Spence and Avery, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing good,
Doing
man.
well.
Yep, we're doing good. How are you?
That's great. I'm fantastic. I love how we're acting like we didn't just talk 5 minutes ago before we press record.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Ross Garbarino. I'm a state farm agent in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right off Jefferson Highway, and opened up in September of 17, and I've been doing this for a little over 3 years, and definitely a lot of different marketing tactics that I can share with you that have worked, and we don't know if they worked, and some that probably fell flat on their face. So let's do this thing.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good. So just to start this up, if you could just tell us currently, like, what are you doing? It doesn't just have to be digitally. It could be physically, digitally, traditional marketing, just anything like that.
Okay. So in my field, in my industry, as you know, Spencer, you've done this before, and so have you, Avery. It seems to have been taken over by what's called internet leads. You can buy individual leads people are shopping online. They're going on Google and saying, cheap auto insurance, Baton Rouge, and they get, sent to a vendor or a site that has EverQuote, for example, and they put their information in, and it just gets blasted out to different people that want to pay money for them. That's obviously one way that I don't know if you can call it marketing. It's more just buying at bats. Same time, I feel like it's also a crutch, and I think it's just a way to fill the funnel a little bit and get some practice in. But I try to focus on marketing to folks that aren't necessarily getting bombarded by everybody else at the same time. Your non-shoppers, the easiest way to do that is via referral, right? Providing a referable experience, and they're more than willing to either actively or passively share referrals, either in their own time or or you're asking them to, give the names and contact info from family and friends if we can help them too. And that's the most, black and white peanut butter jelly way to do it. A lot easier said than done. Branching off that, kind of I guess the tactic that I've taken from day one and still continue to build on is, I guess it's a form of referrals, but I call it relationship business, relationship marketing. And it's just getting out there and being involved in the community, whether it's helping different organizations, or being involved in your church, or obviously during the pandemic there was a pretty crazy time, and it's kind of when it all took off was we were sitting there and we were still doing okay financially, but there was a lot of businesses obviously around us that were not doing so well, and I just felt we had to figure out some way to do something, and with zero idea of making this a marketing or an offensive play, we just started doing these giveaways and partnering with small businesses, and it in turn turned into this relationship referral funnel, and now we do that in almost 5, 6, maybe even we're planning to do about 10 or 12 times this year, a little bit more consistently instead of just doing it the 8-week stretch we did last year when we thought the pandemic would be over. But we were wrong, obviously. Yeah, so I think that's my main marketing tactics, I guess. And then of course, always keeping in touch and continuing the relationship with customers that are already in your book of business, that you continue to grow with them as their needs grow and make sure we're covering all gaps as their situation changes. So I have a bench ad. I have a couple bus bench ads. That's marketing, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I'm in the church bulletin. I'm in a few traditional stuff, but it's more so just because I didn't want anybody else to get it before I did. So more branding, I guess.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. And tell us a little bit about like your social media. I know you're super involved with like Facebook, and like how's that going? And is there's any problems that
Sure.
you're facing there, or anything like that?
Right, and I guess that's I let that detail out. That's how I've been doing my giveaways and everything. I have not in the past, like it was very all my posts were either product related or very cookie cutter, I guess. But since March of 2020, I took it and kind of made it my own, and I don't know, it's a way to kind of personify your agency and give it a personality, and not just be what everybody else is doing, or just posting the given content of the day. So I think it's just a way to be able to interact with people in public, even if you're quarantined, right? So yeah, I think it's a center point of my business. It's also a way to like stay in front of customers you currently have and be top of mind, whether you're posting about business or Jesus, doesn't matter, right?
Yep, that's right. Have you done any like paid advertising type stuff over social media?
I have. And it's not expensive. You do like a pay to promote this post or whatever. It's fairly inexpensive. I did that a lot before the pandemic, but I've realized that doing this organically and asking people to share and just posting real, genuine, good content that's a bit of positivity and light amongst all this crazy negative stuff that you see. It's more effective, and it doesn't cost to pay for the word to say sponsored under all your,
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, so have you done? I know you have a website as well. Have you done anything with that, or is that more of just a stage?
What's the website? What's the website? Yeah, I got one of those, Spence. So they provide a microsite for us, but they also provide a way to make it look a little bit more modern. And they call it our M1 site. So State Farm, as a State Farm agent, you kind of work within the box. They give you a box. You can do a lot of stuff within the box. And that's why there's so many there's 18,000 different agents and 18,000 different ways to do it. It just depends on how much you want to move within the coloring zone, I guess. Yeah, if you go to my microsite, GarbarinoSF.com, it gives you a little bit more. You can, introduce your team members and different things, tell about yourself, and make it a little bit more personalized. And you can kind of see the differences across different agents. So yeah, you want to push people there. They can get quotes there and so on.
Perfect. Yeah. So the reason I asked you is like, they have a lot of like SEO and, SEM type stuff where like, it's like the Google AdWords and all that kind of, I'm not sure if you ever like messed around with any of that.
I played with it a little bit. So they, again, the company, they provide a service that's called like a partner with this group called the DAC group. And I realized pretty quickly that it was just, I was giving them money for no reason. And if you did SEO on top of that, it would I think if you do double, this is what I've heard, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you're doubling efforts on an SEO standpoint, it almost hurts you more than it helps you. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a, double negative. I don't know. But if you do it solo by yourself with a company, it can be pretty expensive. Again, what I've found is and I can't compete with like the Geico corporate SEO, you know. And State Farm does it too, which is great, but I want to obviously push them to my office, not my friend Michael down the street, right, Avery? As much as I love him, you know. So I have found that the best way to go about it, again, is organically and not being afraid that if you do a good job, ask for a Google review and just keep those steady coming in. That'll move you up the Google list real quick. And, I mean, when you're in a new city and you're searching for a Chinese restaurant, you Google Maps it, and whoever has the most stars and best reviews, you probably pick that one first. So that's been a pretty big thing for us in the last year. And at this point, I think we have more, don't tell Michael, but we have more Google reviews than anybody in Baton Rouge. So you'll probably have your typical troll every now and then. I've got one star, but he's no named, and we flushed him out pretty quickly.
Well, good. I was literally about to bring up the Google reviews because I remember that was a big push that you had, and that, just like you said, that is, you know, increase your search engine optimization, stuff like that. So
let's see how many we have. Let's see how many we have here, Spence.
It was a lot last time I checked.
105, broke the 100 mark. How about it?
Yeah, no, that's what we've discussed that in class and stuff as well. That's like super important. And then like, so I guess that kind of goes up to my next question, where it's like, do you have like any, you know, like, was there ever something that you like wanted to do within, you know, marketing, and like you just didn't know how, or didn't know like what the right move was, or like you didn't want to hire an agency to do it, or, you know?
Sure. There's probably the amount of ideas that come through this poor brain of mine that don't get executed. I think if I ever decided to do that, hire an agency or hire some help, again, very costly for a small business owner. It'd be more so for the consistency factor, just being able to, you know, not do it 8 weeks at a time like I did, or not do it a Facebook post every 5 times in a month and then not next month, you know, or Google reviews in January, but not in, you know, stuff like that. But in reality, I always go back to, it makes it less personal. It's not you, you know, because you're kind of, whatever it said on your brand is as if it's coming out of your mouth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that I wish I could do that I haven't done. I don't do as much LinkedIn as I should probably. I usually stay on the Facebook. I sound like an old man saying the Facebook. The company's kind of opened Instagram up to us a little bit, but it's hard to put content on Instagram, it's most, to me, it's more of a picture, not a, you know, a long, I don't know, paragraph, right? So, and then you got to realize who's on Instagram versus on Facebook. You know, you catch most of the, and I haven't even thought about getting on, like, I guess I should eventually, TikTok, however that works, and Chatterbox, Snapchat. But again, State Farm kind of keeps you within the lines a little bit. It's a good question though. I'll think on that one.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's good. I mean, like, definitely more of a social media presence would probably, I mean, like, that's fair. Have you ever thought about, like, I know, like, I've seen on Handshake and stuff within Baton Rouge, like, State Farm agents that are hiring marketing assistants that, like, you know, they pay them $10 an hour and they just do marketing the whole time. Like, have you ever thought about going that route, or?
Man, I think I did that once with this kid. I think his name was Spencer, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Worked out
no,
well.
That does help. That's good. Yeah, that's a good approach, obviously. And it's, you know, it's more than just a marketing opportunity. It's also a chance to get a feel for a potential hire in both ways, either them come work for you or vice versa, for $10 an hour, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Before any of the big guys come after them and start offering $50,000 a year salaries, you're able to kind of pitch the dream to them before they get clouded with all the other things out there that like going to work for Mattress Firm, which is super cool. Edit that one out.
Of course. You know, I
Edit that
was
one
wondering too. I have another question. Was I know you mentioned a lot, even when I was working there, about the like State Farm limitations. Has it ever like affected what you were gonna do based off of their rules?
Be a little bit more specific for me.
Like, have you ever wanted to, I don't know, make a post or do
Yes.
do something,
Absolutely.
and like they kind of like hindered you from what you were, not, you know, not them personally, but like their rules and regulations, you know?
Sure. And you know, it's the times they ever get, you ever kind of cross that line is just when it's when it is there's just specific things you can't do to like make the name look bad, or edit, you know, mess with the logo, or talk specifics on pricing and stuff. Like with I think at the end of the day, the things that they hold us back from are also things that probably are smart and keep us safe from, you know, dealing with a bunch of BS.
Well, that's good. The reason I'm asking is like that could be a potential, you know, marketing problem, not problem, but like, you know,
It's definitely a problem. They do keep you within the lines a little bit. Yeah, I wish I could say a little bit more, like specifics on a product or something, but they kind of try to keep it high level, and then let's talk about their needs once we get them in for a conversation, which is obviously the right way to think, to be honest. So I get the reasoning more times than not. But you know, there are times when I would like to like feature a product and go in depth on what it is. So, you know, if, for example, we have a long universal life policy that also provides a flexible care benefit. So if they, you know, needed help taking care of themselves down the road, they could use some of their life insurance to pay for that. Going in depth on that on like a social media post, and it's probably not the right venue to do that anyway. But it'd be nice to be able to get that word out there to folks that are looking for long-term care and don't know that we do a version of it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's about
that
it.
definitely makes sense. Like I said, I just, like, you ever have to go through like compliance? Like, you have to like submit what you're going to
Oh
post?
yeah.
Or, yeah.
The cops. No, I've so I was on the corporate side obviously before becoming an agent, so I kind of know the things you can and can't do. When it comes to like the terminology for like, so obviously we were able to lower our hurricane deductible, which was a big deal for us down in Louisiana. It's the verbiage you use to what they called it, a hurricane duration deductible, like, which that's not a big deal. It's just sometimes you got to use the words that they have approved legally that make you sound like a exam FX teacher or something, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. And again, I'm sure that's for their branding and for their image type stuff. Because it's just like, it's interesting because like we're gonna be interviewing like an independent insurance, you know, agency as well, and like, you know,
You gonna
like
share me their answers or what?
I mean, we'll see. But like, you know, like for them, like they have a different marketing tactic because like, you know, they don't have that.
They do.
You know, that like oversight.
There's a lot of pros on the independent side. Same time, like I don't have to pay for all the crazy branding that State Farm does as a company.
That's right.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, we could probably have success if I just put the logo up there, and not as much success. Obviously, I'd be not taking advantage of an opportunity, but the brand is strong, especially in Louisiana. I think we have like a 33% penetration.
Nice.
So you can put guys like, you know, that don't know anything about insurance, like Spencer and Avery, and, you know, they can just blabble and hopefully get people to buy in, right?
That's right. That's right. They said, so I guess, you know, kind of to wrap everything up, like you have, you know, any just general questions you'd like to ask some young, you know, college age students in regards to marketing?
Sure, man. Yeah. Well, this is actually relevant because both of y'all have had some time in this field and in this environment. Avery in a more tenured, probably put together environment than poor old Ross, but we're getting there. I mean, you can get stuck in a rut sometimes. and to call it marketing, giving you just a big sheet of names and numbers and saying call it 18-year-old. I don't know. I think that's kind of I don't want to call that marketing, to be honest. Telemarketing, right? But what do you think? Where do you think we're missing? Where do you think we're missing the mark that would be valuable and a hook to these young professionals that are coming out of college, professionals? I know how to get the 40, 50, 60-year-olds, right? As I call it, the Facebook. I got that under control. But you young bucks, the company tells us that you guys are all self-sufficient and don't want to talk to anybody because you're, looking at your phone all the time. Or you know it all, right? And you hate the fact that you'd have to talk face-to-face to somebody. And I don't believe that's true, especially down here in Louisiana. How do I get to those guys? How do either from a prospect standpoint, but also from a recruiting standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
insurance isn't the sexiest thing.
So like that's I kind of mentioned before. So like the next step after this, like me and Avery are going to talk in like a podcast type form, and we're going to talk about your business for another 10, 20 minutes. We're going to discuss what we like, what
So
you can
cool.
do, what
what you need to work on.
Exactly. Yeah, like a
Man, I can't wait to listen in, boys.
like it's like a marketing consulting firm. You basically say, and,
Right? Yeah.
And we'll
Love
be able
it
to,
for free. How about
exactly,
that?
exactly. Just for you to interview, that's the cost of it. And so we'll
That's
definitely get back to you with what we have. We'll send you the link of the video, and you can watch and let us know what you
Awesome.
think.
Yeah, of course.
But
maybe me and Laura can go grab a beer and improve our businesses from these incredible 22-year-old minds, 24-year-old minds, right? 23-year-old.
That's right.
How old are you people?
I'm telling you, it's gonna be helpful, and we obviously appreciate you, taking time out of your busy day to come talk to us.
I wouldn't do this for anybody, Spencer.
I know. I definitely do appreciate it, and I think you're gonna like our work as well. And
Love it.
also, like, you're gonna be involved in future research. So, like I said, you're gonna be helping the betterment of the field doing this. So,
Love it, dude.
thank you for doing this.
If I think of anything else, I'll shoot a text or I do want to send out. It was a similar podcast and asking similar questions from Red Stick Strong.
Mm-hmm.
About you might have been on board at that point. No, maybe not. That was like you were on board 2 years ago, right, Spence?
Yeah, that was with Sam's sister, right?
No.
No.
Let's see. VR, Red Stick Strong is what it's called. Y'all should listen to that before you start judging me, all right?
It's not judging.
It was kind of the idea was that this lady kind of reached out to different businesses that were using the pandemic to be shine the light versus just turtling up, Let's see. I'll find my link and I'll send it to you. I think I have it on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my bio, bro.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely we'll give it a listen, and like I said, we're gonna be in touch for the next couple weeks with your kind of report from us, and just
man, I can't wait. This is so fun. Good.
Just let us.
Why'd
know
y'all pick me and not Lou Laura? Golly, he'd probably give better answers.
I mean, we still might. We'll see.
I think you should. Do it anyway and act like you didn't talk to me, and then you can compare answers.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. But yeah, look, Ross, we appreciate it, dude, and just like I said, just let us know if you ever need anything. Obviously,
I will definitely do that, and y'all do the same, fellas.